In the highlands of eastern Doma, wrapped in blankets of morning fog, lay a quiet village called Nyamiko. Nyamiko was a peaceful place, where people woke with the sun and went to sleep when the stars began to whisper. Children played near the yam fields, elders shared tales around fires, and drums sang only during births, weddings, or storms. But beyond the edge of Nyamiko stood a forest the villagers did not enter. It was called Yuko, the Whispering Forest. People believed it was enchanted, a place where the trees could speak and the winds remembered names from 100 years ago. No one hunted there. No one fetched firewood. And no one lived near it. Or so they thought. The first sight. One misty morning, as the rooster crowed and market stalls opened like yawns, an unfamiliar woman appeared at the edge of the village square. She walked barefoot. Her skin was the color of dusk, her eyes like the calm before rain. She carried a woven basket filled with herbs, green ones, blue ones, some glowing faintly in the mist. Where did she come from? Whispered the women behind the vegetable stalls. She's too early, muttered the old men playing ale beneath the baobab. But the woman, whose name she softly shared as Nanya, smiled gently and laid out her wares without a word more. The villagers were curious but cautious. That first day, no one bought anything, but many washed. A new routine. The next morning, she was there again. Same spot. Same silence. This time, the herbs had names written on folded cloth tags: Sina root, for fevers. Bloombola, for broken dreams. Kiro leaves, for aching bones. A healer named Mama Eku approached her. These herbs, where did you find them? In the forest, Nanya replied, her voice soft but sure. Mama Eku's eyes narrowed. Yuko. Nanya nodded. The old woman muttered a prayer under her breath but didn't argue. Instead, she bought 3 bundles and walked away slowly, as if unsure what she'd just done. After that, others began to visit Nanya's mat. They didn't ask many questions. Her herbs worked. Her presence calmed. And when she smiled, people felt like everything would be okay, even when it wouldn't. But still, no one saw where she came from. Or where she went. Whispers and wonders. Children followed her once, giggling and hiding behind trees. But halfway through the village, they lost her in the mist, just poof, gone like smoke. She vanished, they shouted later. She walked into a shadow, another claimed. Maybe she flew, said the youngest, wide-eyed. Like an owl. At first, these were just tales. But when it happened again, when a group of goats refused to walk past the tree where Nanya once stood, people began to talk. She's not from here. She has no shadow near water. I saw her talking to the cassava like it could answer. Enter Temba. Now, Temba was not like the others. He was a quiet man who carved wood into animals, spoons, bowls, and sometimes, when the mood struck him, tiny dancing women that no one ever admitted to buying but always disappeared from his table. He lived with his younger sister and his goats. And though many women smiled at him, he never seemed to notice. Until Nanya. The first time he saw her, she was touching the petals of a dying flower in the market square. She leaned close and whispered something. The flower stood straighter. Just a little. Temba blinked. That night, he couldn't sleep. The friendship begins. Temba began buying herbs he didn't need. One day, it was Kiro leaves for his aching toe. The next, Mbola for dreams he forgot. Once, he bought a root for goats with headaches. Nanya never asked questions. She just smiled and handed him the bundle. He noticed she never bargained. Never raised her voice. Never stayed past dusk. One evening, as the sun began to drop behind the forest, he offered, "Let me walk you home. The path is lonely." Nanya turned her head slightly. "You don't know where I live." Then let me find out. She looked at him for a long moment. Her eyes, usually soft, held something sharp. Not angry. Just ancient. No, she said. Not yet. Then she vanished into the mist like the ending of a dream. The elders speak. By the 4th week of Nanya's visits, the village elders gathered. She sails from the forest. She never eats here. Never sleeps here. She doesn't even sweat under the sun, backed Elder Fumo. Maybe she's just different, said Mama Iku, who had quietly used Nanya's herbs to cure her husband's stubborn cough. Or maybe, Elder Fumo replied, she is not of this world. A silence fell over them like dust on old drums. She's a spirit, someone whispered. The Festival of Rain. It was tradition in Nyamiko to hold a festival every 7th full moon, to thank the sky for rain, the soil for food, and the trees for shade. Drums echoed through the hills. Paint-decorated faces. The market was brighter than ever. Temba, for the first time, wore a shirt not covered in sawdust. He looked for Nanya. And there she was, dressed in a white wrapper, a single silver leaf pinned to her hair. They danced, slowly, without music. Just 2 figures under a full moon. You never laugh, Temba said, gently. I do, she replied. Just not where people can hear. Do you trust me yet? He asked. Nanya looked toward the forest. The trees whispered her name. I'm trying, she whispered back. A promise to come back. Before she left that night, as the festival quieted and the stars blinked down like old storytellers, Temba took her hand. If you vanish one day, he said, I'll still wait. Nanya smiled. Not a soft smile this time, but a real one, wide and bright and warm like fire in winter. I won't vanish, she said. Not unless I must. Then she stepped into the mist. And even though Temba stood there, watching, she was gone. A proposal and a warning. In the weeks after the festival, Temba and Nanya became something more than just store neighbors. Their talks grew longer, their silences more comfortable. Where once there were curious glances, now there were shared smiles. Even the goats, Temba's ever-silent audience, began following her when she visited his workshop. Nanya would sit under the shade of the palm tree while Temba carved. Sometimes she'd hum tunes he didn't recognize. Tunes that made the leaves tremble. Sharing secrets. Almost. One quiet afternoon, as the wind stirred the banana leaves and the market slept in the sun's embrace, Temba asked, Tell me, Nanya. Who taught you about herbs that make dreams softer? Nanya looked away. I listened, she said finally. The forest teaches, if you listen long enough. He raised an eyebrow. You make it sound like the trees have mouths. She smiled. Only when you're quiet enough to hear them. That answer stirred more questions, but Temba didn't press. He was beginning to realize that Nanya's truth came in slow drops, not rivers. The moment. Temba was a man of few words, but the ones he kept were solid as ironwood. One evening, under a sky full of copper clouds, he carved a small ring from the root of a baobab tree. It was plain, but it carried a whisper of his heart in every curve. He handed it to her under the stars. This is not gold, he said. But it is honest. I want to marry you, Nanya. She held the ring like it was fragile glass. Her face didn't smile. It folded with worry. Temba, she began, her voice barely a breeze. He waited. There are parts of me you have never seen. Things I cannot undo. I don't care, he said. I want all of you. Even the parts one don't understand yet. She looked at him then, really looked. As if searching for something in his eyes that only she could see. Yes, she whispered. I will marry you. The celebration begins. News spread faster than spilled palm wine. The village burst into joyful chaos. Drummers dusted off their skins. Aunties began arguing over wedding food ingredients. Uncles offered unsolicited advice. Children danced through mango groves shouting, "Nanya is staying. Nanya is ours." But not everyone celebrated. Enter Mama Agbo. Mama Agbo, the oldest living healer in Nyamiko, had not left her hut in months. She was mostly forgotten, until she showed up in Temba's doorway unannounced, leaning on a stick carved from old Iroko wood. Her voice was like sand and smoke. "Boy," she said, without a greeting. "Do you know who you're marrying?" Temba blinked. "Yes." "Nanya. She sells herbs." "No," Mama Agbo snapped. "She whispers to herbs. They listen. There's a difference." He said nothing. "She carries the scent of two words, one foot here, one foot not. If you marry her, boy, one word will claim her. And maybe take you too." "She's not evil," Temba said, defending her. "Neither is the sea," Mama Agbo replied. "But it still drowns." Then she turned and limped away, vanishing down the path like a dying wind. Omens in the dust. That night, strange things happened in Nyamiko. A group of women fetching water found the stream running red, like diluted blood. No fish. No frogs. Just red silence. An owl hooted loudly, at noon. Children woke from naps crying, claiming they saw eyes in the yam barn. And when the sun set, a thunderclap shook the ground, yet the sky above remained clear and blue. The elders gathered. Some blamed bad luck. Some blamed jealous ancestors. But others whispered, this began when Temba asked for the hand of the girl from the mist. The midnight visitor. Nanya couldn't sleep. The wind was too restless, the stars too loud. She stepped outside her hut, one she had only just begun to build with Temba's help, and looked toward the forest. And that's when she saw him. A tall figure stood by the tree line. His face was hidden beneath a cloak of leaves. His eyes glowed faintly, not gold, not silver, but something older. "You know why I've come," he said. Nanya stood firm. "I chose love." The figure shook his head. "You chose forgetting. Do you think your roots won't remember you?" "I left the forest," she said. "I left its rules. You were born between the veil. To marry a human is to tear it open. What will happen? The veil will break. And once broken, it lets more than love through." Nanya's breath caught. "I won't change my mind." "Then prepare," the figure said. "For what comes after will not be yours alone to bear." And with that, he faded into the trees. Not walked. Not ran. Just faded. The moon hung low. Nanya returned to her bed, but she did not sleep. She stared at the baobab ring on her finger and felt its weight, light as wood, heavy as fate. She whispered to the wind, "Temba, I hope your love is strong enough." And far away, in his workshop, carving a wooden pendant in the shape of a leaf, Temba paused suddenly. As if something, some part of the air, or maybe his heart, just shifted. The wedding day. The people of Nyamiko had not seen such a wedding in generations. The sky was clear, the drums were bold, and the village square shimmered with colorful fabrics and bright laughter. Palm wine flowed like song. Aunties hummed, children danced in barefoot joy, and Temba wore a robe stitched with symbols carved into wood. But the bride, Nanya, though radiant in a dress the color of new rain, held a stillness beneath her smile. Her eyes flicked to the forest more than once. She laughed when others laughed. She nodded at blessings. But the fire in her gaze, the deep, ancient warmth Temba had come to love, flickered like a candle in the wind. When they exchanged vows under the elder tree, she whispered hers so softly, only the wind heard them. The wedding night. That night, under a full moon so round it looked carved by hand, Temba lit the small oil lamp in their new home. Nanya sat quietly by the window, brushing her hair, the silver leaf still pinned near her temple. "You're quiet," he said, sitting beside her. "I'm listening," she replied. "To what?" "To everything that might come." He chuckled. "Only thing coming is sleep. And maybe a song in the morning." But Nanya didn't smile. Instead, she took his hand and placed it on her chest. "Feel that?" Her heart beat fast, faster than a drum. Faster than human. "I need to tell you something," she began. But just then, the oil lamp flickered, then went out. Darkness wrapped around them like a second skin. And then, Temba saw it. The change. Just for a moment. In the pale moonlight, Nanya's skin shimmered, no longer deep brown but a strange silver hue, like moonlight on water. Her hair floated upward as if underwater. Her eyes glowed softly, not with fire, but with memory, old, deep memory. She wasn't terrifying. She was timeless. And then, just like that, it was gone. The lamp fled back to life. Nanya looked human again, sitting silently, hands folded. Temba sat frozen, his breath caught somewhere between his chest and his spine. What was that?" he whispered. "The truth." "I wanted to wait," Nanya said, "but there is no more time." She turned to face him fully. Her voice trembled, but her words were clear. "I am the daughter of the forest guardian, born when a mortal woman fell in love with something that was never meant to love back." Temba stared at her, blinking like he was waking from a dream. "My mother was human. My father, a spirit. When they broke the law of the veil and chose each other, the forest cast our line." She paused. "The curse says, if one born of both spirit and flesh marries a mortal, the mortal shall forget the love by dawn." Temba shook his head. "That's a story. A warning tale." "It's a curse," she said. "And tonight, it has awakened." The final hours. They lay side by side in silence. Temba held her hand tightly, as if he could press memory into his skin. He whispered her name again and again. "Nanya. Nanya. Nanya." But as the moon began to fall and the sky paled into pink, his grip loosened. He blinked. Looked at her face. Then past her. "Do I know you?" he asked. She sat up, breath caught. "Temba," she whispered. "It's me." He frowned gently. You're beautiful." "Are you visiting Nyamiko?" Nanya felt the tears rise like a tide. "You don't remember the market?" she asked. "The carvings. The baobab ring." He looked down at his finger, puzzled by the wooden circle there. "It's lovely," he murmured. "But I don't know where it came from." The goodbye. Nanya knew the curse had done its work. Temba stood, confused but calm. He patted her shoulder awkwardly and said, "I should get back to somewhere. I think I left my goat untied." He smiled, kind, empty. She nodded, blinking through tears. "Go," she said. "May the forest never trouble your dreams." As he stepped into the morning light, Nanya stood alone in their new home, now just a hut with no past. She turned once to look at the ring he'd carved her, sitting on the windowsill. Then she walked out. Not toward the village, but toward the forest. Toward the whispering. Toward home. In the village. By midday, news spread, Temba's bride left him. "He doesn't remember her at all," said one child. "Says he was never married." "Must have been a spirit," someone muttered. "Or a dream." Only Mama Agbo, sitting beneath the elder tree, whispered the truth. "She warned him," she said. "But love listens only to the heart." The dreams begin. Temba could no longer sleep without her. Even though he did not remember who she was. Each night, as the wind stirred the thatched roof above him, he dreamed of a face. Not quite clear. Not quite gone. A woman with a soft voice. A woman who stood by a tree. A woman who whispered his name, though he could never hear it. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes she wept. And always, just before he woke, she vanished into the mist. The forgotten wedding. The villagers of Nyamiko talked behind his back. That poor boy was cursed. Spirits play cruel games. He carved a ring, gave it to Smoke. Even his goats gave him strange looks when he returned home after the wedding. They bleated at him like disappointed elders. But Temba felt nothing, and everything. His hands moved over his carving tools with the same rhythm. He still went to market. Still smiled at neighbors. Yet inside, something hollow yawned like an empty drum. I feel like I lost something, he told his sister one morning. You lost a wife, she said. He blinked. I was married. She stared at him. You really don't remember, do you? Mama Agbo returns. That same evening, just as the sun kissed the horizon and painted the sky with fire, Mama Agbo knocked on Temba's door with her stick of Iroko wood. You remember yet? She asked before stepping inside. No, Temba said. But I keep dreaming. A woman. Her eyes, they feel like thunder. The old healer nodded, as if this was exactly what she expected. She loved you. You loved her. And the veil between your words punished you both for it. Temba frowned. Then why do I only feel her in dreams? Because dreams, Mama Agbo said, are where truths hide when memory fails. Preparing for the spirit path. Mama Agbo boiled a pot of roots, herbs, and leaves so bitter even the mosquitoes avoided the steam. You must drink this, she told Temba, and walk into the land between waking and sleep. Will it bring her back? No, she said. But it will bring you back to yourself, and that may lead you to her. He drank. The taste was like swallowing storm clouds and tree bark. His knees buckled. His eyes rolled back. The word spun once. Then disappeared. Riddles in the dream. He stood in a forest not quite real. The trees bent like dancers, their branches humming songs in languages older than time. The voice echoed. She wore no crown, yet ruled your heart. She whispered to leaves, but feared the dark. Who is she? Nanya, Temba breathed, the name breaking from his lips like sunlight through fog. The tree sighed. Images came, visions of a market, a silver leaf, a baobab ring. Laughter under stars. The feel of warm hands on his. He fell to his knees. I remember, he cried. Then came another voice, deeper, colder. Then go find her. But know this, no man walks the forest between worlds unchanged. The forest between worlds. When Temba woke, he didn't hesitate. He packed his knife, his carving tools, and a small wooden pendant shaped like the silver leaf Nanya wore. He told no one where he was going. Not even his sister. Not even Mama Agbo. He walked past the edge of the village and into Yuko, the whispering forest, where no villager dared go. The trees watched him. The air tasted of memory and old songs. Birds with human eyes flew overhead. Shadows moved even when he stood still. He walked for what felt like days. Until the forest opened. And he stepped into a space where light and shadow danced together, where colors didn't exist until you looked at them, and where time had forgotten its name. He had entered the forest between worlds. Meanwhile, in the spirit realm, far from the mortal world, beyond the last leaf of the last tree, Nanyo knelt before the council of the veil. They stood tall, spirits of wind and root, dark-skinned judges with stars in their eyes. You broke the covenant, one said. You married flesh. You awakened the curse, another said. You brought the veil to the edge of tearing. I chose love, Nanya said, head high. Is that such a crime? It is when your love risked opening the gate to both realms, boomed the guardian, her father, the great spirit of the forest. You must decide, the guardian said. Return to us fully, give up your human name, or the forest will cast you out, spirit and all. Tears welled in her eyes. I was born in both worlds. Why must I choose? Because even trees must choose where to grow, the guardian said. Or they fall. The echo of a name. As the council deliberated, Nanya stood in silence. Then, suddenly, her ears perked up. From far away, across winds and time, she heard something impossible. Her name. Spoken not by a spirit, but by Temba. He had come. He remembered. A single tear slid down her cheek. I choose neither word, she whispered. I choose him. The forest trials. Temba walked through the forest between words like a man chasing the wind. The trees bent over him like guardians. Shadows whispered riddles. The ground shifted beneath his feet, sometimes mud, sometimes memory. The first trial came as a vision. He saw a version of himself, older, alone, sitting in his workshop, still carving, still dreaming of someone he couldn't name. The vision spoke. Stay. Forget her. You'll be safe. You'll have peace. Temba stepped forward, whispering, peace without her is not peace. It's silence. The vision vanished. The second trial came as a shapeshifter, a woman with Nanya's face but none of her spirit. She smiled too quickly, laughed without depth. You can have me, she purred. You won't have to fight anymore. But her eyes were empty. Temba looked past her and said, you wear her face but not her fire. She hissed and dissolved into dust. The third trial came as temptation. A tree made of glass appeared. Hanging from its branches were moments, joy, family, a life free of magic and pain. A peaceful human life, without Nanya. Temba took a deep breath. Then he turned away. He walked deeper into the forest. Toward her. The festival of crossroads. Somewhere beyond the veil of mortal understanding, a clearing opened under a sky that shimmered between night and dawn. It was the festival of crossroads, a time when spirits danced between worlds, weaving paths with their feet, singing stars into the sky. Nanya stood among them, cloaked in silver, her face calm but her heart aching. Then, she felt it. The tug. The pull. She turned. Temba stood at the edge of the clearing, mud on his feet, hope in his eyes. He was breathless, wild-eyed, and shaking, but when he saw her, he smiled like a man who had just found his home. Nanya, he said. She ran to him. They met like storm and flame. The declaration. I remember everything, he said, holding her face in his hands. The herbs. The whispers. The way you looked at me like I mattered more than time. I tried to forget you, she admitted. But I couldn't. You live in the part of me I cannot silence. I came to take you home, he whispered. Then we'll go together, she replied, or not at all. The music stopped. The forest held its breath. The guardian's test. A great gust of wind blew through the clearing, and with it came the forest guardian, towering and shadowed, his voice deep as thunder rolling through roots. You have broken the rules, he said. Twice. Nanya stepped forward. We did not break love. We followed it. The guardian's eyes narrowed. Then let love face truth. He raised a branch-like hand, and the sky split open, showing two paths. Up on the left, a glowing spirit path. A peaceful life beyond the veil, timeless, safe, but not human. Globe showing Europe Africa on the right, a mortal path. Filled with pain, fleeting years, and the risk of forgetting all over again. Choose, the guardian said. But know this, once you walk one, the other vanishes forever. Temba took Nanya's hand. They looked at both paths. Then, together, they stepped onto the mortal road. The choice and the lifting. The guardian paused. Wind stilled. Leaves stopped falling. And then, slowly, silently, he nodded. You choose struggle over ease, he said. That is the most human choice of all. With one wave of his hand, he broke the curse. You will not forget again, he said. But know this, your lives will still carry hardship. Love does not remove pain. It only gives it meaning. Nanya bowed her head. Temba breathed deeply, as if his soul had just taken its first breath. Hand in hand, they walked back through the forest. This time, the trees parted like old friends. Returned to Nyamiko. When Temba and Nanya stepped into Nyamiko once more, the villagers froze. Some dropped baskets. Some blinked as if seeing ghosts. One child clapped and shouted, "They came back. They came back." Mama Agbo simply smiled beneath the elder tree and said, "Told you. Love like that doesn't vanish." The village welcomed them, slowly at first, then with wide arms and open hearts. They rebuilt their home. They danced again. They laughed again. And each month, on the night of the full moon, they lit a fire beneath the elder tree and told their tale. The legend. It is said that if you walk into the whispering forest with a true heart, the wind will hum a tune. A tune about a craftsman and a girl made of moonlight. A tune about love that faced the veil and walked through it. Children sit wide-eyed as elders tell them. Long ago, a man forgot his bride. But love remembered. And that, children, is stronger than any curse. The end.